It's Daniel here from ChronoLogic. We're going to start this webinar. It's going to be about conditional scheduling. I'm super happy to have you here. If you could maybe type on chat if you can hear me and see my screen correctly. Okay, I think everything is fine. So yeah, once again, my name is Daniel Kmak. I'm with ChronoLogic, and we're going to talk about the conditional scheduling. So, agenda for today's live stream is as you can see, we have 5 key points. The first one is a small introduction to what we're going to talk about. Then we have a comparison between the things we talked previously about. So you might be familiar with Chronos and Ethereum alarm clock, and Automate is something new. The leading programmer and architect behind this concept was Piotr. I think you know Piotr very well. So we're going to talk about 2 versions of Automate. First one is the standalone version. It's hosted on its own website. Second one is integration in Zapier. So Zapier is something you might be familiar with. It allows you for integration with thousands of applications. So this is going to be super interesting. I think you will get a lot of value from this live stream, how to automate stuff in cryptocurrency, especially on Ethereum. At the end, I will answer your questions. You can type your questions here on the YouTube chat during the live stream. Also, at the end, you will be able to send the questions. There will be dedicated time for this as well. And make sure to like this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel so this video reaches a bigger audience. We are partially also taking the role of educating people about how you can automate stuff on crypto, how to work with wallets, how to work with our technology. So we are thinking it's super helpful for crypto community in general. So Automate. First, let's compare Automate to Chronos and Ethereum alarm clock. So the first thing that we have taken to mainnet, it's been created by Piper Marion from Ethereum Foundation. It's Ethereum alarm clock. It's already on mainnet. It's live. It's transferred more than $300,000 of ETH, which is a lot. And you can see that it's safe because it's such volume has went through the protocol, and everything is working correctly with this protocol. Yeah, this is already on mainnet, and here we have 4 categories. So Ethereum alarm clock is Ethereum protocol. It's decentralized. It allows for time scheduling, but it lacks conditional scheduling. Chronos is Ethereum alarm clock, but like step up, level up. It also includes conditional scheduling, which allows for a for a lot more use cases than original Ethereum alarm clock. So Chronos is going to be really awesome and fully decentralized. But as we getting closer to Chronos, we want to take like a mid step, and we decided to create Automate to also get you guys more familiar and crypto community in general with conditional scheduling. So Automate, it's not a Ethereum protocol. It's maybe not decentralized, but it will allow soon for time scheduling, and it certainly now allows for conditional scheduling, and it allows for conditional scheduling both on mainnet and testnets. And you will see this in action on this live stream. So once again, this is automate allows for conditional scheduling on Ethereum. Trigger is condition. Soon it will be also time. So we will be also allowed to do time scheduling. This is non-custodial service, which means it's completely safe. So just don't worry that this word centralized has been in regarding to this, because this actually we have Automate doesn't have any access to your wallets. You just create signed transaction, you sign it with your private key to your wallet, and the signed transaction you just paste it into Automate, and this is really safe approach. Automate, we just take this signed transaction and we work with this, and just execute this transaction when the trigger that you have set up will be fired, when the condition will be met. And this is something which is already available on the mainnet. And obviously, we are not building this technology just to build it. We are building this for the sake for people to use it. So we always want to talk about the use cases, how we can use it as creators, because we're building this also. We're also part of this community. We're building it for you as well, for your friends. Maybe you have a need to use that. Maybe it's one of your friends. When you hear that someone talks to you about that he has some problems with for example, forwarding ETH, then you will be able to point them to Automate. So this specific use case is about forwarding ETH, and you can use Automate for that. For example, imagine you receive maybe salary from someone, or you expect some transfer in the future, and you won't sell maybe part of it instantly on an exchange. So you can use Automate for that. You can just assign transaction beforehand, and then you are able to save precious time, because exchanges often require, for example, 40 or 60 confirmation blocks. And if this would be automated, for example, if you receive this transaction in the night, then Automate works. Automate works all the time. So it will pick up your transaction and it will forward your ETH. You also have full control over this transaction. You can cancel it, and only you have access to your funds. So Automate version standalone, here's link. It's automate.chronologic.network, and you can use it today. Works on mainnet, works on testnets. Very easy to use. You just paste signed transactions. You set up a trigger. Then you get a link, and you can control your scheduled transaction. And when we talk about trigger, now it's, for example, it could be when you receive some tokens, when your balance of tokens reaches certain point, or when your ETH balance reaches a certain point. So these are possible triggers right now. So once again, automate.chronologic.network, and you can use it today. Works on mainnet, works on testnets if you want to try it out before you go with this on the mainnet. So let's go to demo. So this is the site. This is automate.chronologic.network site, and you land on such page. And here, actually, only the first field is something that that interests you. That should interest you at this moment, because first you need to paste your signed transaction. So to create this signed transaction, we are going to use my crypto wallet, but you can use my Ether wallet, just any wallet that outputs such signed transaction. And I hope you know how signed transaction works in general on blockchain. So when you have your wallet, when you have your private keys, then when you send transaction, then you basically have all these values of your transactions, like transaction value, like the address you want to send this transaction to. And all this is like packed into one object, and this is signed with your private key. And the result of this operation is signed transaction. So it's not possible to get your private key from signed transaction. It's not possible. So the signed transaction, to send your transaction, what you actually do, you take this signed transaction and you broadcast it to the network. And this is how your transaction is sent. So this is completely safe. So we have the we have the forwarding ETH example, and we will talk here about receiving salary. And we have three actors. First actor is Alice, and Alice here will receive salary or ETH from someone. Then we have Bob, and Bob is the person that Alice wants to send ETH to. So Alice will send Ether to Bob. And the third actor we have is Charles, and Charles is the third party address here. So once again, we have Alice, Bob, and Charles. Alice knows she will receive Ether from Charles, which could be, for example, her employer, and Alice maybe owes Bob some Ether. She might have some debt, or just wants to send Bob Ether instantly after she receives that Ether from Charles. And she could do it manually, of course, but she doesn't know the time that Charles is going to send her this transaction. So I can imagine such situation. I had this before that, and maybe you also had such situations when you did some service for someone, and you were paid in cryptocurrency, and you wait all day maybe for this payment, and you don't want to ping this person that sends you the money all the time, because it's impolite and all this stuff. But it's really important for you, and maybe you want to sell this cryptocurrency right away on an exchange or something like this, or send it further. Then with Automate, it gets really easy, because you can just set it up and it will be done automatically for you. So when Alice will receive ETH from Charles, then her balance will go to 0.3 ETH, because her starting balance is 0.2 ETH, and Charles is going to send her 0.1 ETH. And Alice will forward just part of it, 0.1 ETH, to Bob. And Bob is now starting with 0.1 current balance, so the total balance at the end of this operation, then Bob should end up with having 0.2 Ether. So we are going to use my crypto wallet to send transaction. First, we need to generate a signed transaction. Bloco Hub is saying hi. Hi, welcome on the live stream. If you have any questions, just feel free to type them. So first, you need to. I'm using downloaded my crypto wallet. You can download it from mycrypto.com website. And after you load your wallet, you can do it, for example, using Keystore or Mnemonic. And I think I have my wallet loaded. And this is Ali's address. So it's 0x606. And you can see it's Ali's address. And starting balance is something about 0.2 Ether. And first, we need to generate this signed transaction. And we want to send 0.1 ETH to Bob. So we use Ali's address here as to address. No, something's wrong here. Okay. I don't know why this address is read as invalid. There must be something wrong with again. Let's try. Okay, now it's working. So this is Ali's address. This is Bob's address, and Alice wants to send 0.1 ETH, but in future. So we don't want to send this transaction at this moment. Just put the gas price maybe like here. But we will just copy the signed transaction. So to get this signed transaction, you need to press send transaction here, and then you go to details. And here at the bottom, you have signed transaction. And so at this moment, your transaction has not been sent because you will need to send this, you would need to broadcast this. But you will just use it to, you will just paste it into Automate, and this will only be sent when Alice receives Ether. So let's copy this. And here we are on Automate, URL, and into signed transactions input, we paste this. You might end up while pasting with space at the end, and it would say signed transaction is invalid, but just delete this space at the end, and it will work. It happens. Okay, so we have signed our transaction of sending 0.1 ETH to Bob from Alice, and we didn't send it. We just pasted it into Automate, and Automate decoded this transaction. And here you can verify that your transaction matches what you wanted to do. So you have the sender address, you have the nonce. These are also important values. Asset name is Ether, as you can see here. Asset amount is 0.1 ETH, which is correct. Transaction receiver, this is address of Bob. Network is ID1, which is mainnet. And this is really important because this is a section that you set up your trigger. So in Automate, you can choose to fire this transaction, to send this transaction when, for example, you receive some tokens. In this case, please paste the address of the token here. And if you leave it empty, as you can see here in this instruction, it says empty for ETH. And this is actually something we want to do today. We want to use Ether as our trigger. And yeah, we can see asset name is ETH. And this last input on this page, it says minimum balance of the sender for conditional asset. And as we have seen here, Alice now has 0.2 ETH, but she wants to send transaction to Bob when she has 0.3 ETH. So this is our minimum balance. It's 0.3. So this is our trigger. And we can actually read it from like reverse, because first there's trigger and then there's action. So when Alice has 0.3 ETH on her account, then this transaction will be sent. This transaction then that you can see details on top. And this is all we needed to do. So we just pasted signed transaction and we just set minimum balance. So we just filled two inputs, really easy. And now we press schedule. And it says we have successfully scheduled transaction. And it's really amazing because it's conditional scheduling already working on mainnet today. And yeah, so we get this link. And this is really important to save it because it will allow you to control this transaction. And you have some details of it here, like the status of it, the details as we already seen. It's basically many information is just repeated from the page we've been previously. So the status is important for now. Okay, so our conditional trigger has been set up, our conditional action, and now we need to wait until Charles sends ETH to Alice, and this transaction will fire. So let's go to Etherscan to see Bob's account right now. Let's refresh here. And we can see that Bob right now has 0.1 Ether. And so this transaction from Alice has not been sent yet, which is correct. And Alice has 0.2 Ether. So now let's send transaction from Charles' account to Alice. And this should fire our trigger. And in the end, Bob should have 0.2 ETH. This ETH that Alice receives will be automatically forwarded without involvement from Alice at this stage, because we have conditional trigger, conditional action set up in Automate. So let's copy the address of Alice. And I'm going to send transaction. To Alice from Charles' account that I have in MetaMask. So this is our transaction to Alice that should trigger. So Alice at this point has 0.2 Ether. If we send her 0.1 Ether, yeah, it should be enough. And our action should be fired. So let's just make it fastest. And yeah, so now Charles is sending transaction to Alice. Let's confirm. And now we're waiting for this transaction to be sent. Let's maybe see it on Etherscan. We need to wait for this mainnet transaction to be confirmed. Just to show you, this is now Charles sending transaction to Alice, and it's confirmed. Okay, so now Alice should automatically send 0.1 ETH to Bob if we did everything right. So let's see. This is Bob's account, and yeah, it fired. You can see that there's new transaction that's pending right now, and this should be coming from Alice. And yeah, this is Alice address, and this is Bob address, and the transaction value is 0.1 Ether. So this is exactly what we wanted to do. And it was just seconds after the transaction from Charles. So this is really amazing, because if you receive money from someone, if you receive cryptocurrency and you really want to do another step right after the first one, then this is super helpful. Just imagine whether you work with exchanges or with someone else, or you have some complex procedures, this really simplifies the whole flow for you. So yeah, this transaction has been fired, and now this is mainnet. Everything is mainnet here in this demo. So I'm not sure how long it's going to take, this transaction from Alice to Bob, but yeah, okay, it's done. And yeah, if we see Bob address now, we can see the balance is 0.2 Ether. So everything worked like a charm. And this is exactly what we wanted to do. We can refresh the status on Automate with our link that we received previously. The status is here pending. I guess we are waiting for more confirmations, for more block confirmations, possibly. Right now we have one block confirmation, but some services need few more confirmations to pick it up. Yeah. Okay. Status is completed, and we also see transaction hash. We can view it in Etherscan, but we already viewed it in Etherscan. So yeah, this is how you can use Automate today on mainnet, and I guess there are lots of cases that you can use it. Forwarding Ether is one of them, and actually you can forward also tokens. It the signed transaction, it could be any transaction that you would normally send, because it's just signed transaction. So it could be calling methods on contract. It could be sending tokens. It's virtually any transaction that you would like to do on Ethereum. And triggers right now, this is tokens received, Ether received. In future will be um, time time constraints, and we might also add another conditional triggers for that. So yeah, this was a whole process for automate.chronologic.network, and you can use it right now. But it's not a full presentation. I have more for you guys actually. So as we are already in this live stream, I'd like to once again invite you to subscribe so you can get updates on future live streams. And I have to say, the future live stream, like the next one, is going to be really amazing. And our Telegram already received this update. Basically today on app.chronologic.network, starting from today, you can transfer CryptoKitties and as well dragons from Dragonerium. So big shout out to both CryptoKitties and Dragonerium guys for making these awesome games on Ethereum. And now you can use app.chronologic.network, our technology Ethereum alarm clock, to schedule transfers of these collectibles. So next live stream, I think it's going to be awesome, and you really want to subscribe. And we also have plenty of videos, plenty of interviews that are already there. We interviewed Vitalik, we interviewed lots of really um, great people from crypto community, and we have like, I don't know, 100 of these interviews, and we have maybe 30 live streams, really good content. And yeah, just please subscribe, please like this video. Let's make sure we reach as many people as possible with this content. And now we are in section 2 of this live stream, and here we will talk about Automate and Zapier. And I'd like to stay on the slide for a second, because you can see all these integrations on this image, like PayPal, MySQL, Stripe, Google Contacts, GitHub, Asana, Google Calendar, Slack, everything. And you can just mix these applications together to create some really cool, like you create integrations yourself to suit you, to really match how you work, your workflow. And now we are adding another another step to this, and this is sending transactions on Ethereum. And this was missing for Zapier. And as blockchain is getting bigger and bigger, like all this technology is reaching more and more users, then this was, I guess, natural step. So now you will be also able to integrate any of these apps that Zapier already is working with, and this is literally like 1,000 applications with Automate, with ChronoLogic stuff. And yeah, you will be able to see how this works. So right now, this is invitation only, and we want to share this invitation with you right now, and we encourage you to try it. And you can try it on testnet first. If you're not sure about like doing this on mainnet, it's okay. Just first try it out maybe on Kovan. It works on any network. So maybe you really don't want to do this, during the live stream, but just please save this link somewhere and make sure to try it out after the live stream. You will really help us because we also try to get as many users as possible. And it costs nothing for you if you set it up on a testnet, but it's a huge help for us. And as well, this will be of huge value for you because you will be the first one to be able to automate your more complicated workflows, and you will save time and all this stuff. So yeah, we invite you here to this integration on Zapier. So regarding these bullet points, this is automate. So this is also conditional scheduling, but this is integrated into Zapier.com ecosystem. Enables thousands of possible integrations right now, and works both on testnet and mainnet. And yeah, we can see chat reaction. Hi Jimski, thank you Otavio for your comment. I hope you will check it for yourself, see how this works. If you guys have any questions, just please make sure to type them. We're really happy having you here. So with Zapier, you get also a lot of possibilities how you can integrate it. But we have one use case already baked for you, and this is local Bitcoins type of Ether exchange. So it basically increases the safety of your transaction because you go to this meeting and you send, for example, Ether with your wallet, and someone is giving you cash, or vice versa. So when you're the person that's going to send Ether, you can set up a Zap. It's called Zap. So it's like a combination of these apps in Zapier, and you can set it up like this, that you will send transaction using automate to this person after you send email. So you can go to this meeting just with your phone, with no crypto wallet access on this. And if you are happy with the transaction, maybe before someone hands you cash or after, you just send email to some address only you know, and this will trigger the transaction to the guy. Obviously, this works only if you agree on exchange rate before the meeting and you get someone's address. But I think this is often the case, that you agree on exchange rate before going to such meeting. And this increases your safety because someone won't be able to access your crypto wallet, because you're just using a signed transaction, automate service, and Zapier and email. So this doesn't touch any of your private keys to your wallet, which means you are safe. And another example, this is maybe more crazy example, but maybe in future. Imagine that you agree to pay some media company that when you get 1,000 Twitter followers, you agree, okay, guys, I will pay you maybe some DAI tokens. So this would be like, I will pay you $1,000, maybe for like less for 1,000 Twitter followers. I'm not sure about the prices, but okay, maybe you agreed to pay some media company $50 in that DAI token, which is a stable coin, or in Ether, when you get 1,000 Twitter followers. And you can set up a Zap in Zapier using that. So you basically set up a Twitter webhook in Zapier. When you receive a new follower, then you count them. And if you have a 1,000th follower, then then you send the transaction using Automate. And you don't need to worry about doing this stuff yourself. If you're owner of a business, you have like a lot of on your head, a lot to think about already. So this just makes your life easier, and it's possible right now today on mainnet. And yeah, if you had this link with invitation, then this is something you can do right now today. And I'm sure, as you guys here in crypto community are really creative guys, all of you, then you probably work with other apps than we do. You probably have more ideas uh, than us how this can be used. So we also invite you to send these ideas to us, and we're happy to discuss them with you. And yep, so let's go to demo of Zapier. I'm going to show you how you can use it today. So you need to make an account on Zapier.com, but this will be straightforward for you. And then you go to ChronoLogic network, invitation, and this will allow you, if you press accept invite and build this up, this will give you access to Automate, and you will be able to send Ether transactions after some triggers. So it's also like conditional scheduling. So after you press accept invite and build this up, yeah, I can click it actually. And yeah, then you can click make a zap. And now, now you have all these apps that you can use to trigger this stuff. I can imagine you can also send transaction like when the weather is of some type. So, really lots of possibilities. But we are going to use Dagger as our trigger. So previously the trigger in a previous example, it was receiving Ether from someone. And Dagger is really similar. And this is not coming from us, but this is something that Zapier already has. It's called Dagger, and it will be our trigger. And it can be a token transfer trigger or just normal Ether. And in this example, we are going to use just normal Ether received type of trigger. So we click new transaction here and then press save and continue. Then we choose Ethereum network, and I'm going to use mainnet here. Transaction type, and I'm interested in setting up a trigger when I receive ETH, because if I want to proxy it, if I want to forward it, for example, to an exchange, then I want to watch only for incoming transactions. And then I set up an address. So, so we're going to use the same example as previously, just now using Zapier. So I'm going to watch for Ali's address to receive Ether. I'm going to press continue here. And here we have sample data to test our ZAP. So yeah, this is just like a test for our stuff. But this is something we are going to receive. And I will show you, we will be able to filter these transactions. So not all of them will trigger this. Okay, but for now, let's just press continue. Okay, so we have our trigger Zapier is saying we lack an action, but we will do this in a second. Let's add another step, and let's use filter. Only continue if. And we want to continue only when, for example, you can filter by any of these values, but we are going to use when human readable amount is 1 ETH. So text exactly matches 1 ETH. And we could add more here, but this is actually what we wanted to do. So when Alice will receive 1 Ether, then our action will be fired. Let's press test and continue. And yeah, with sample data, because sample data had 1 Ether of value, it would work. It would have continued. So it's okay. So now let's press continue. And now, so we have trigger, we have filter, and now we will add action, which is going to be automate. And now, if you accepted the invitation, if you follow the link, and you can see it's only by invite, you can choose automate. It has nice ChronoLogic logo here. You can see it will, the action is execute Ethereum transaction. And here we need to use signed Ethereum transaction. So this is the same as we used here. It also worked based on signed transaction. So let's make sure I'm going to increment the nonce here. And yeah, maybe in this example, I'm going to forward all of Ether received, which would be, oh, I don't have it. So maybe let's also try to like forward 0.1 ETH after we receive 1 ETH. This will be our transaction. Let's press details. And let's copy signed transaction from here. And we need to paste it here. So yeah, we grabbed our signed transaction in my example from my crypto wallet. Let's press continue. And we want to send test to automate to make sure that automate correctly parses our transaction here. And this won't send your transaction. This is just like a test. It's just like a parsing. And yeah, we can verify the details. You can see it correctly decoded our transaction. The value of it, from address, all this stuff. So yeah, human readable value, which is 0.1, which exactly matches what we wanted to send. So let's press finish. And we need to name our zap. So let's type it send 0.1 ETH from Alice to Bob. When Alice receives ETH, and let's make sure our zap is turned on. And yeah, it works. This is how simple it is to set up conditional triggers right now. On Ethereum, on mainnet, you can use Zapier, and you can use automate chronologic.network for this. And I can show you actually how many cool triggers are here. Let's make another zap. And yeah, it could be, for example, email. it's like so this is in this slide that I showed you with local Bitcoins type of transaction, and you set up some email here, and it could be trigger for sending automate transaction. So for example, you send email, an Ethereum transaction is being sent. So this is really safe because you don't need to carry your wallet, crypto wallet with you. And sometimes you hear about some bad stuff happening in these local Bitcoins exchanges. So it's just safer to use something like Zapier for this. So yeah, we hope it simplifies your life today already. As I said, works on mainnet, so you can definitely use it for such case. So yeah, guys, we approach slowly the end of this webinar. Make sure to join our Telegram group where you receive updates about all the latest updates. Like today, we posted about new release of our dApp that you can transfer the CryptoKitties and dragons. We always communicate with you there. Maybe if you miss your time to ask a question on this live stream today, then you will be able to send this on Telegram, and I'm there. Other developers are there. Tiago is there, who's managing our great community, and just you can send your questions there. Also, make sure to follow us on Twitter, where we retweet some cool integrations or also latest news. We also post there info about our live streams, and these live streams are going to be amazing. So I think this is something you want to follow. And at the end here, you have links to all the important stuff, like automate.chronologic.network. This was the site we did first demo with. Second is invitation for Zapier, ChronoLogic network /invitation, and this is I think this is going to be super helpful for you. Also, make sure to subscribe, join our Twitter, join our Telegram. And here we are on Q&A. And yeah, please, guys, pose your questions right now. We already have first question from Carlo Beltracci. Would be automate useful for scheduling token burning? Scheduling token burning. I'm trying to think about the current state of technology. I think we would need to add like a different type of condition for this. So either it could be time. So when some ICO or something wants to burn their tokens, not sure if this is the case you want to mention about burning unsold tokens or something like this. So if you would know the exact amount of tokens that you want to burn, and you know when you want to do this, then you could do this on Automate today. But if this is more complicated, like you're not sure about the amount of tokens that you want to burn, but if you have like a freeze period that you close like your sale, and then you have like 2 weeks for like consolidation of all this stuff. So I'm sure at this moment you already have the number of tokens that you want to burn, and as well when you want to burn it, probably after this period. Then definitely you can use conditional scheduling for that. And you could use you could use Zapier, because you have time scheduling there, and normal standalone automate soon for that, because we are going to make time-based executions there. So yeah, it would be definitely useful for scheduling token burning. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, just please type them now, or just no problem, Carlo. You're welcome. if you guys have more questions, just type them now or join our Telegram group and post them there. I think this live stream was already long enough. I hope it was well worth for you to watch it, to be here. Make sure to show up on another live stream, which is going to be on Tuesday, the same time as it was here. It's going to be about schedule. It's going to be about my crypto token transfers. We improved the whole flow, and yeah, it's going to be awesome. We already had one such webinar previously, but we decided to improve the user experience for it. So now it's really simple to send tokens in a scheduled manner at a future point in time. Okay, guys, I don't see any more questions. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to show on a Tuesday's live stream, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.